what's going on, guys? Colin here with CH Sports, coming back at you guys with another sporting adventure. And before we get into the video, I just wanted to thank today's video sponsor, as well as my own personal sponsor, AGL Discs. AGL is a disc manufacturer out of California, and they are on the come up. They have some pretty sweet plastic, and if you wanted to check them out, their website is agldiscs.com. And if you use code CHSports, that's capital CHS, lowercase PORTS, you'll get 15% off your order at agldiscs.com. I will also leave a link to their website down in the description below. Other than that, let's get into the video, guys.
And we are back with the 2020 Almost Beaver State Fling, appropriately named as we had all 36 holes at Milo in. Scott Withers here with Dion Arlyn, and we're happy to be here representing CH Sports, and we want to thank AGL Discs for sponsoring it. But there's my stats. Maybe not need a whole lot of introduction if you're watching this video, but we'll kind of move on.
Absolutely. So, Scotty, on the front nine, we had one skin on hole one, followed by 8 straight pushes. So we come into the back nine, and at $10 a hole, we're looking at some serious cash on the table for anybody who can separate from the pack here.
And we're going to jump right into a hole that absolutely could win a skin. You know, this is risk and reward. I know that you and I can probably get it to the island if we want to be aggressive. The other two are probably going to lay up a little short, but maybe we're just looking at trying to throw good drives and get a big jump putt. It's 534 downhill, but cool hole for the fling, even a cooler hole for skins.
Absolutely. So we are playing $10 a hole, 36 holes on the day. If anything pushes till the very end, we will split. Otherwise, winner take all. And I pop up Z Force there.
Yeah, speaking of hole 10, the island green does play a big portion of this hole. You can see it on the wood chips. Justin's going to line up what looks like a Star Destroyer, maybe a DD3 for himself. He likes to throw little lighter discs that will get some glide to him. He's going to land a lot of his shots kind of in the normal tournament player landing zones, while we're going to try to push him out a little farther than that. And I'm busting out that Emperor again and throwing it pretty much as hard as I can, trying to get down there by your drive, which inspired me.
Yeah, I played that really well. I'm happy I didn't roll off the tree and into the street, and then you match me. And then Chandler, I really like this out of the hand, gets it flat over the road, which means he was committed, and then just checks up on the short tree there. Bonus $50 CTP. I'm going for the island.
Yeah, and Colin threw up an extra $50 for us, and you smash one, got it to turn over. We did clarify you have to be inbounds for it to matter, so you went first, yanked it out of bounds, and Justin's really only play to get a CTP here is just to try to throw it inbounds farther than everybody else because he can't quite keep up distance-wise.
That's right. Now, I'm thinking, gosh, Scotty, you just threw such a great shot. Why don't you try to go for the island? And then this happens.
Looked like I got a little off balance, leaning to the left, throw a terrible shot, hits a tree, decides to roll back.
And then this rollback.
I could have just thrown a fairway driver.
Yeah, Chandler has the easiest $50 he's ever going to make. Just throw a shot in bounds.
And he does. Pure happiness because he's on the board, and at this point has $50 when you have 10 and two of us haven't cashed anything because he was able to throw a shot in bounds.
That's right. Justin shorts the island. Chandler goes for the air bounce again. Just going for the style points because, it was either all or nothing.
So we talked about this. We both have about 50 footers here, but they're tough putts to try to make because if you miss it and it goes off the back of the island, you're handing the other person all the skins. I threw a pretty weak effort up to the left, but it stayed on the wood chips.
Yeah, now I don't really want to go for this because if I go out the back, you win, drop in $90. So I have to give it a conservative bid here.
And we both did just that. Threw them up. Yours was low. Mine was high and weak. But it is what it is. We're just going to kind of move on to the next hole. Chandler's racking up the strokes, but it's skin, so it doesn't really matter. And we'll tap in and go to hole 11. But we're in the stretch of Milo that there's a big scoring separation on a lot of these holes, and we don't get to play them very often until the fling. So it was really cool to get out there and, have fun on some of these that you never see the basket in that setting, or hole 11, which is coming up. We never even get to play, and it's one of the best holes on the property.
That's right. Yeah, it is truly one of my favorite holes. And Fry with the bonus 50 there. Otherwise, we're still looking at 10 skins now on hole 11. So this is worth $100. And a 3 is a good score here, and everybody on this card is capable of getting that.
Yeah, I feel like the drive is pretty simple on this hole. You want to do exactly what you just did. You may have even pushed it a little too far left, but you want to get basically as close to the road as possible. Justin tried to have these guys move, and they didn't hear him, and then he throws his disc basically directly under the rafts.
They were good sports about it. They joked about moving the rafts to cover it, cover the lie.
We weren't even thinking about it. And we were kind of asking him, like, are you serious? Like, that's where you're going to land at? We're just throwing pitch hyzers, basically. And Chandler's going to go the old, I think Will Schustrick used to do this when he was up and coming and playing the fling. Tries to go Annie. Instead, hits a car, maybe, probably. I don't know. It's out of bounds either way. So he's taking himself out of this hole.
Yeah, which was a surprising play. I wanted to go aggressive here, but I realized a 3 would be the only score that would matter. So Chandler was just having fun at that point. He won the $50. He's feeling loose, and now he throws a little Z Extreme to recover from OB. I've seen Robbie Bratton throw the big turnover, and then last year at the Fling, I threw a roller to about pin high in one of my fun rounds. So it can be done, but a 2 is extremely unlikely.
And then these upshots are a little trickier than they look. I was not great out of my hand. You're in a tougher spot here because you have to throw Annie on it, and you threw it pretty soft. So
yeah, I did not commit to the Predator and left myself right around 40. I'm happy I didn't go OB.
Yeah, and those both are upshots. They're kind of left something to be desired, but we still have a chance of putting, and Chandler trying to clean up his par, throws it off the cage. But like you said, we're both putting for 3, so that putt didn't matter. You got, 30 feet here?
A little longer, about 40. Drano. That's a good putt for me. I'm not known for hitting 40-footers, and I felt good about that one.
Yep.
Oh no.
Hey,
did that hit clean, or was it a little left side?
It was a touch left side, but it definitely didn't need to come out. I was a little frustrated by it at the time. It was one of those that, like, when the soft left putt that hits kind of low and 95% of the time just bounces down into the chains. If I would be interested to see a slow-mo of that, how it didn't stay in, but you did your job, and that was throw in that 35, 40-footer and put some pressure on. So you now have all $110 that have been won in skins minus the Chandler CTP, and welcome to skins at Milo, I guess.
That's right. So only 2 holes of the first 11 have determined any actual winnings for the skins, and I was fortunate to get both of them. But I was playing solid all day. I was a part of a lot of those pushes in the woods, and now we move out to kind of hit the reset button. Everybody's got a chance. There's nothing on the line, so everybody will get aggressive again, and 10 more bucks. Keep lining them up.
Yeah, hole 12, this island's really small, 370 feet. I can't bring myself to lay up on this hole even in rounds, and I probably could/should. I threw a PD2 here that's really overstable, and I was trying to skip one in. It went a little long, but curled back on the island. Justin ended up throwing his about 50 right, and you can see Chandler lining up what's probably some type of distance driver, I would guess, maybe a force.
Yeah, I can't remember the white one. Might be a vulture.
And Justin put some pressure on after you putt out of bounds, and he takes $10 out of my pocket, it looks like.
Yeah, because you're in gimme territory, and now Justin's forced to push. So now you got to make this, or else he wins the skin. Good hit.
This was an interesting 5 minutes. Somewhere along the last hole, I lost my glasses, was trying to figure out where those went. Didn't want to leave Oakley's laying on the course. Justin bangs a big putt. There's cars going by. Had to reset and actually take some time to throw that 20-footer in so we could get pushed onto the next hole.
That's right. It was all good. We went to the tee pad of 13 and ate some snacks. So here we are on hole 13, 473. This one's toolable, and that would certainly win a skin with any four group of guys. I yanked the Zeus over a little right, and now doors wide open for any of the other distance throwers here. So you or Chandler, really.
Yeah, Justin can't quite get it there. He's going to take kind of his normal play, which is put it out just short of the tree and take a par. I know that I want to have a putt at this hole every time. Like, if I get it out of my hand good, I feel like it's the right shape to be putting. That's obviously not good. This tee pad's a little short. We were talking about that. Yep. It would be nice if it had a couple more feet of backfill so you could actually throw a shot without just a three-step approach. But yours wasn't great. Chandler yanks his, and we're looking at a bunch of up and down par saves just to get through this hole. No one's even got remotely close to a look.
Exactly. Now it's a couple, hopeful putter throws, and I'm going to throw the Zeppelin, my nice floaty putter, and try to drift it in, and you can see how that thing just glides forever.
Yeah, it feels like a mix between a ultimate frisbee and a disc golf putter is what that Zeppelin felt like when you were showing it to me.
Yeah, I think at the factory they took like an old putter mold and mixed it with a trash can lid. And this putt's kind of meaningless for par. Everyone else is parked. Just a straddle putt, practice putt for me.
And the Zeppelin never got put into production, right? It was something that was an ace race only disc.
That's right. Wow, look at Chandler with those skills.
We got to get a slow-mo on that.
Slow-mo, yeah. Yeah, but the Zeppelin was only an ace race mold, but it really needs to make a comeback. It's a great approach disc.
Did that come off as pinky?
Middle finger.
Okay. Jeez.
Yeah, a little ultimate freestyle trick there. Drains it.
That was the first time he tried it for the day, too. It wasn't like he was messing around trying to throw this in on every hole. That was the first time he busted it out and knocked it down from 20 feet.
That's right. Hole 14, the monster, par 5. I think it's the best par 5 on tour. It makes you choose shots every hole. Gives you a variety of attack angles, and just makes you earn it.
It's the hardest par 5 that I've ever played that realistically doesn't have any out of bounds.
Exactly. Both Justin and I throw a little too much cut on the roller and go left, which in retrospect I'm not mad about. That left side, even though the footing and the lines can be a little tricky, it takes you to the side of the fairway where you can actually get some flight.
Yeah, and I threw Roadrunner that's so understable. I just throw it like a backhand that turns into a roller. But it got over by the amp pad, which is what you want. Chandler was laughing when I threw the good roller, and he said he was going to throw an air shot past it, and then he yanked it into the trees, and but bounced out to the edge. And Justin hits a gap, gets out. I mean, if you're over there, anything that advances past this next set of trees is successful.
Boom sauce. I ripped that one out of the slow run up with the Z crank, and I just get all of it.
And gets into a great spot. You have a legitimate chance to make birdie now, which is anytime you're going to make a 4 on this hole or have a chance to make a 4 is very impressive. I don't know how many, if you have 100 pros play it in like the Fling, maybe you have 3 or 4 people birdie it. Probably not a ton more than that.
That sounds about right. So this is the ideal landing zone, but I kind of feel like back where I was, even though it was a little harder shot, it was easier to get the flight to where I landed, whereas you threw the correct next shot and really aren't that much better off than I am.
I don't even think it was better off. When we got up to mine, you at least had the airspace on the left side to be able to throw your next one. I got mine kind of pinched off by some branches and had to throw something that never got more than 7 or 8 feet off the ground. And I think I took my rangefinder and I was still like 380 feet away from the hole. I'm trying to throw PD2 low, and Kaylee's obviously disappointed probably in something that I did. You can see her back there not looking happy.
Did she talk to you about that later on the drive
Definitely
home?
going to be disappointed in that shot.
So I'm busting out the big forehand on that third shot, trying to crash the green with the Zeus. And I think I just went right over the top of it.
I like how that thing flies for you. It gets a lot of straight carry and doesn't just dump over to the right.
Absolutely. Yeah, great distance driver. Decent shot there from Justin on the left side. Chandler slipping and sliding on the fresh cut grass there. Really couldn't commit to anything on the plant foot. And nice little floaty run from him. I think that was for the 5. Maybe it's 4. But
yeah, how good of a putter thrower is Chandler? And I know that since he switched back to Discraft, he's been kind of working it out and seeing what he really likes. But for a few years when he was with the Latitude roster, he threw those pures like nobody in the world.
Agreed. All right. 14 up, 14 down. I'm on a roll.
Yeah, Justin splashed his putt out a little left. I'm not sure if it was for birdie or not anyways, but great birdie on that hole. I mean, you threw a average first shot, a really, really good second shot, a really, really good third shot, and threw in a 30-footer, and that's what it takes to birdie that hole.
Yeah, I can honestly say I don't think I've ever birdied that hole in competition. So that's a first for me.
And we move on to hole 15. One of the most picturesque holes out here, but it's a little harder than I think players realize. And I bet you the scoring average on this in a tournament is close to par, not a ton under par, even though it's a dead straight shot. I feel like it's just hard to hold a disc straight for 420 feet and then end up on a little mound. So you can see both you and Justin bailing out a little early, and I'm throwing a Champion TL3 here, which is the straightest fairway driver that I have in my bag.
Yeah, it's a good play. The hole is a little uphill, and I think after you play the Monster, this hole is such a visually pleasing shot that everyone kind of lets down their guard. And, a lot of people I've noticed really don't get the timing and don't get the height correct on this shot. So what Chandler did, what I did, I think is really common. And I think it's part of the relief of getting off the 1,000-foot holes. It kind of takes you out of your focus for this shot.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Just because I say it's not an easy hole doesn't mean it's not a great hole. Like I think this is a pretty special disc golf hole on this property, but it is hard. I really struggle with this shot, and I know that I feel like I par this hole like 9 out of 10 times, or end up with this jumper that Justin's got here, which he's throwing with an R Pro dart.
Yeah, good. I agree with that assessment. All right, you got a chance to get on the board from about 55?
Yeah, maybe a 50-footer, and it just hits the very top, and
nice little catch there.
Yeah, just didn't quite have it with the step putts for the day. Was putting pretty good inside the circle, but it was, kind of a gray and gloomy day, but it was also super muggy outside, and I know that multiple of us were talking kind of about grip, and that came up when we were watching the Pro Tour event at the preserve that Kale put together. They had some days that didn't look that hot, but grip's a big issue, and Nico went on to win this last weekend and was carrying a chalk bag with him and stuff the whole time. It's, something that comes into play. You got to be able to keep your hand on the disc, and we were all struggling just a little bit with how sticky it was outside.
Yeah, I've got a chalk bag in the bottom of my Gorilla Boy, and I didn't bust it out this day because there was some good fresh dry dirt, which I prefer, but I was ready to. Here we are on hole 16. I think one of the better shaped par 4s around. You have to hit the field goal, or you can flex around it to get into the landing zone, and then you're left with about 3 to 350 on a tightly tucked green.
Justin's left with about 550 after he gets right there.
And you hit the pro window.
Yep, decide to go through all the branches like they don't exist, and when you do that and it doesn't hit a single thing, you chase your second camera guy off, and then you end up in a really good spot.
We need to film. That thing is so stable.
Is that the most stable Zeus in the world? Look at that thing twist out.
Yeah, Chandler was trying new things, put the mask on. We walked up to that tee pad, and there was a couple groups, one that let us play through. Chandler looks at us and goes, I told my mom if I was in a big group of people, I'd put my mask on.
Good for Chandler. being socially responsible with this distancing, and turns a little early. He'll have kind of a backdoor bid, and now you've got the forehand from right about 320, I would say.
Yeah, it's a shot that I'm not super comfortable with. I like throwing my forehands flat, as that one gets rejected and goes from parked range all the way to tester range. I struggle a little when I do have to throw forehands on hyzer, and you have a pretty flat release too, but maybe you tilt your wrist down a little more than I do to be able to throw that shot on hyzer, and obviously you have a little more sidearm power, but it's something I struggle with.
Yeah, it can be a little uncomfortable, and now you're a natural ball thrower, so you like coming over the top, so your shoulder's conditioned to release high, and that low release is a little bit awkward, I bet.
Yeah, I don't get to play infield much to throw things sidearm, even
Yeah.
through all the softball and stuff I play. They stick me in the
Nice
outfield,
putt
tell
there,
me to go
though.
chase it. Yep. Yeah, I had to get you back one. I let you have the one on 11 on the missed putt, and this one wasn't for a skin, but, those 30 to 35-foot testers, Chandler and Justin, are just as happy as I am to see that one go in.
Exactly. It was a good putt. And we're moving into hole 17, which is another hole where 2 is definitely going to take a skin. Some risk reward where you got to clear the corner and climb up the hill. And it's worth $30.
Should be worth $300 with how hard this hole is.
Yeah. And I'm going with the Chanimal ESP Force. And I came out a little early in the day and carved out a little disc-sized hole that would put me right there, because that's how lucky I got to get to that spot.
You threw it and you said that, I think I got all the way through, and we're all like, Dion, you didn't get all the way through. You're like halfway up the fairway. And then we get up there and you're all the way at the edge, and I still don't think we believe it. And yours worked, obviously. I tried the same exact thing and ended up where I thought you ended up, which is in let's take a bogey range.
This is where I wish I had cameras on discs to see how many things I missed by a millimeter climbing up through the woods.
Justin went forehand off the tee. He would like to throw that farther, but that's definitely a good singles play on this hole. And then I threw it in, and then I throw the best, I will safely say, the best Roadrunner roller for forehand rollers that I've ever thrown. Probably the only one.
That's great outshot. And Chandler with a long bid, can't convert, and here I go. And it is in my head that I'm about to go 17 for 17, and a little fluffy.
Yep. No 17, but you're still firmly in charge of the skins round. I think we're all about the same score at this point. Chandler wasn't playing great score-wise, but like we said in skins, that doesn't matter. But you've got all the skins right now from some timely wins and a really, really good birdie on the par 5 a couple holes ago.
Exactly. So coming into the final hole here on the back 9 on the east side and our morning of the Almost Beaver State Fling, we've got $40 on the line. If for some reason no people in the group get it, we'll just push it into the second round that we're about to go into and play. But final hole, $40. Let's go.
You're busting out the forehand, going distance driver, I take it on that one?
Yeah, through the Zeus, I really wanted it. As you can see, I kind of yank it because I wanted to just pop it through and hit that window on the left side.
Justin's trying the traditional line. I think he's throwing a nuke here. You don't have to go that fast with the disc. I feel like that forehand line's really grown in over the last couple years. They cleaned it up a couple times for you. And then I'm trying the same thing that Justin does and just decided to throw it into the tree and laugh at myself about it. And then Chandler is taking the next most common route to this hole, I would say. And it's that super overstable, either fairway or distance driver that you're putting on a big flex and trying to wrap it around the back trees. But hits a tree with everyone else, and we're kind of in a bunch of upshot zones here, maybe a couple long jumpers, but really looking at pars for people.
Yeah, nobody put a move on this hole, and at this point, no one's in good enough position where I think a 3 could still probably take it. You see, Chandler goes a little deep, and now you're looking at this putt for 3.
Yeah, and you're talking about a 45-footer that goes off the cage, and then did they miss Justin's putt out of the tree, it looks like, but he ended up basically just laying up because he was in a pretty bad spot. So he's going to do the par tap in with the driver you're going to clean up. And, in a pretty entertaining first 18 holes, we're going to go get the chance to get a sandwich and come back at it. But do you have any thoughts about what we've seen so far?
Yeah, a lot of fun, great shots. I'm excited to get on the west side and put some bombs in some of the bigger par fours over there. So anytime we get to play Milo, it's a treat, and playing it for money is even better.
And as we move into our back 18, which would be the west, I have a whopping $0. Justin is tied with me at $0. Chandler won the $150 CTP, and Dion took 14 skins. So we'll see you guys in the next 9.